Hi everyone, it's Killshot 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9, Season Finale, 999 Army fan reactions. So we are going to get your opinions. I know many of you were here for the spoiler scene just a little bit ago, and it was madness. At first, there was like, hey, there's a little bit of a cliffhanger, and then everybody backed off. It's like, wow, what a brilliant idea. Before we get started, you guys see up on the screen, just want to give a shout out to the Patreon Army. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. Been an absolutely amazing season. I am going to do a couple shout outs because these spoilers are all possible because of our friends over at the Spoiling Dead's fan page. You can see Ninja Pancake, Shiny Firefly represented down in the bottom left-hand corner. I just want to kind of honor them a little bit in a couple of videos and just say thank you. They do an amazing job. And before we get into the spoilers, so just hold tight. I know everybody's anxious. I want to give you guys my take on spoilers because I've always used an analogy that I don't like to be surprised. When somebody buys something, I don't want you to buy something that I don't like. You ever been in that situation? I sort of want to know what I'm going to get. And the way we do spoilers is we use it as a validation to our predictions. And I know a couple people said, I didn't like spoilers, but because we talk about them here, I like them a little bit more. Well, that's part of it. But whenever, there's something that somebody's going to die and you think it's going to be very traumatic, instead of sitting there and it's going to leak anyway, you might as well get over here and talk about the spoilers and hang out with us and get involved and analyze why they do it, why we think. The only key to that would be, I'd say, don't stop watching the show because you get spoilers. And then there's a good partnership. Then the people at AMC aren't saying, oh my God, the spoilers leaked and nobody's watching because of that. I think it's just the opposite. I think if you talk about the spoilers and you find the good things that you're looking forward to, it could actually work in the opposite effect and have more people interested in it and give people more things to talk about afterwards. So, like I said, a lot of love, a lot of support for the people out there finding the information, and I do think that there's a good compromise or a good place between spoilers. It's not the evil spoilers anymore. It's, hey, we're talking about this stuff all week long. So with that being said, let's get into it because not all of you were here for the last video we did. Some of you were, so this is going to be brand new to some people. We're going to jump right into it. So here's what goes down, as I said before. I'm going to read some of this, and if I read it, it is Ninja Pancake's wording. I'm going to ad-lib a little bit, paraphrase a little bit, just to kind of get you to what's going on. But there's some really, really amazing storylines that are going to happen. And also, there could be more information that comes out over the next couple of days. Because I know you have some questions. What happens to Dog? What happens to Sadiq? What happens to Eugene? We don't know everything, but here's what we do know. So the episode does focus on the group dealing with the blizzard. Goes back and forth. We get Alexandria. So we made some kind of assumptions that everybody was going to Hilltop. That's not what's happening. Kingdom is going to Hilltop, and Kingdom's going to Hilltop, and Alexandria's staying in Alexandria. So it's not like Negan is with all those people from Hilltop. So it's not like they've got to worry about him. In fact, it's getting cold everywhere. We'll talk about that in 1 second. So the kingdom has fallen, and it's basically because they're suffering. They don't have enough food. It wasn't because of any major event. I don't think there's any. It could be a small fire, but it's not like they're being run out. I mean, he's shutting the door, and they're relocating. There is a time jump. So they're not immediately like, let's get back at Alpha. What's going on? I think the group is a little bit beat down at this point. I think they don't want to fight back. Whatever's happened, happened, and they've sort of avoided Alpha to a certain degree. And the time jump, they know there's a time jump because Rosita is a little bit more pregnant. She's a little bit further along. I got a super chat here. This is Daryl Stoltz says, Negan saving Judith is fantastic to hear, but Judith has been Negan's savior all season 9. Killshot in the Army rule, and that's why I'm a channel member and a Patreon member and a super chatter, Daryl. So you hit the trifecta. You got all three covered. Thank you for that. And that is one of the big bits and pieces of information is Negan's redemption. I'll get into that in 1 second. So there's not a lot of stuff that occurs while they're walking from the Kingtop, hashtag it, Kingtop, from the kingdom to the Hilltop. Not a lot of stuff's going down, but there's a lot of conversation. You're going to find out a little bit more about the characters. Says Who You, super chatting, says, do we find out who the enemy from within is? Not, I don't know says if it is a specific traitor or if it's more of a metaphor for the people changing and going with their instincts. I mean, maybe that sounds a little too deep for this episode. I mean, there could be a traitor. There could be somebody that turns on them. But it could be that, as we talked about, the enemy from within could be human nature. Could be the fact of the Ezekiel-Daryl dilemma and what it turns Ezekiel into. So let's talk about the road. They do cross a frozen river, and they encounter some of the creepy, wintry walkers. And we hope Gage dies. That's not a spoiler. It's just a big hope. We hope Jared died into existence, so we hope it's Gage this time. So even though they are hesitant to cross into Alpha's territory, they have to. They got to get there. What's funny is not everybody, you do have some Alexandrians that are still stuck making this trip with them as well. So, but there are people back in Alexandria, but we know they do have to group together as well. And I don't know what some of the Alexandrians were doing hanging out at Hilltop for so long, because there was a time skip. Maybe they were just visiting, and that's kind of what went down. So they don't encounter any whispers during this. So I think, do you guys feel like that's a little bit of big news? Like this was sort of hyped up as Alpha's going to get some revenge in the season finale? And it doesn't appear like that. It appears like this is just about how the story's going to change and setting up a little bit of that cliffhanger and a little bit of the character development for next season. We already know Alpha doesn't really need a whole lot of character development. We know what she's capable of doing, but there's some stories that still need to kind of come full circle. Lydia, if you guys don't know, Lydia asked Carol to kill her. Lydia is stuck in a tough situation. She doesn't really fit in with this group because Henry's gone. She blames herself for Henry, and she wants to die. Carol will not. And Carol's actually going to support her. But there's a little bit more that goes down with that, and I'm going to tell you just in a second here. The Kingdom group does make it to Hilltop, but I have some very sad news when they get to Hilltop. Those of you that did not hear the spoilers from before, I'm going to say the same thing I said to the group earlier. Sit down, because this is going to blow you away. Carol breaks off the relationship with Ezekiel. As predicted, there's a lot of human emotion. There's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of... There's no trust. Carol and Ezekiel are gone. Gone. And you're right, Kay Hensley. The beta alpha thing is a little crazy. I'm going to get into that in 1 second. I'm just kind of going in order, so I'm definitely going to call that out. Here's the reason. She tries to give the ring back, and Ezekiel's like, nope, I won't take it because I will always love you. Carol says that she knows Ezekiel blames Daryl. The name of our video from the other night, does Ezekiel blame Daryl? I couldn't be more obvious than that, right? And, yeah, I'll say it one more time. I caught some heat because a lot of people said, no, Ezekiel ain't going to blame Daryl. Ezekiel's not like that. We went through this long, drawn-out conversation of why Ezekiel's suffering and why he blames Daryl. But Carol says that the only reason he blames Daryl is because he's too afraid to blame her. But it was kind of, both of them had some ownership in it because Carol took him up there and Daryl didn't do a great job of watching over for him. Holly Pierce, Carol and Ezekiel made my heart drop. So sad. Holly, it's going to get more sad. We're not done with that story and how it's going to play out. Carol decides to join Daryl and Lydia at Alexandria. So not only are they ending it, she's moving out. She's packing her stuff and leaving to go be with Daryl. Now, at first glance, you can say, friendship thing, what happened with Daryl and Connie. But I'm going to say the same thing that I said the other night. If Daryl is the friend that he should be, even if she gets to Alexander, Daryl should probably be like, hey, you need to go talk to the king. I mean, Daryl shouldn't even open up the door for this. I don't think Ezekiel has done anything irreversible. He's not out there staying out till 3 a.m. drinking with Jerry and looking for female whisperers. I mean, Ezekiel's a loyal dude. So to end the relationship based on this and not to try to work it out, to me, says that there might have always been questions about that relationship. So this bothers me. It bothers me a lot. And I think it's going to bother some of the Carol fans too. Because it just seemed like she's not giving Ezekiel the benefit. All right. We got any Judith fans out there in the stream? If you absolutely love Judith and you love the Judith character and you think she's like Carl and Rick and Clementine and Shane all balled into one small bag of awesomeness, if you think Judith is awesome, any Judith fans out there? Judith's a kid again. Dog takes off in a snowstorm. Judith goes looking for him. She gets herself in trouble again, just like she got herself in trouble with the walkers. This time it's a little bit more serious. Judith is freezing to death and suffering from hypothermia. Negan goes out looking for her. So I gotta stop. I gotta stop all this Negan hatred at this point. Why does Negan go out looking for Judith? Why does a power-hungry, cruel man that's never going to change, can never like anyone in the minds of a few of our viewers? Yes, this is spoiler, Haley. This is the real deal. Those people out there saying Negan can, to gain trust, I don't think so. Day, come on. This is not about Negan gaining trust any longer. This is about Negan going out to save a little girl that he cares about. This isn't about gaining points with anybody. I'm going to go out and risk my life and find Judith and bring her back. And hey, look, I'm the hero. I brought the kid back. We got to move beyond that. The writers of this show want you to understand the sincerity of Negan, that he loves Judith. Say it with me. Say it with me, everybody. Those people that have held on for so long, just say it. Negan loves Judith. He has feelings for the little girl. It's like his daughter now. He's willing to go out and risk his life for her. Thank you. I just need that little bit of admission. All right. Negan wraps her up in his jacket. He wraps her up in his leather jacket, his leather Negan jacket that he had to go find when the dogs were chasing him. And in Ninja Pancake's immortal words, hello, Season 10 redemption arc. It's just sad that we got to go to Season 10 to get redemption. It should be happening right now. We should get the redemption right now. Says who you keep saying Judith being like Carl is not good. Carl's dead because of the same kind of stuff. By the way, even prisoners in real life kill if you hurt kids. Stop it, says who you. I will make a deal with you to agree with half. Judith being like Carl is not good, and I do think she's different enough. Well, first of all, Judith is cooler than Carl. Second of all, I do agree with the prisoners in real life. I don't agree that Negan should still be a prisoner. I think Negan has served his time. In a world without rules, I think he served more than his time. Tom Ferreira, what about Lydia? You mean Bug? We'll talk about Bug in a minute. We got a few more surprises, everybody. Hold on. We're not through with the spoilers. I got another super chat. This is Sherry Bentley. Be with Daryl, not question my home. Oh, stop. Hold on. Sherry Bentley. I got to stop that right from the start. When a couple seasons ago, it would have been okay. Yes, these are confirmed spoilers, Shannon Nicole. They are 100%. Spoiling Dead's fan page. No doubt about it. No speculation, no prediction. Spoilers. So I got to stop, Sherry. Before other people were involved, the whole Carol Daryl thing was cool. Now that Ezekiel and Connie... But hold on a minute. You know what? This could work out. You know what, Sherry? You're right. Because if I'm Ezekiel, I'm going over to Connie. It's like, hey, that's fine. All right, here. Take the ring back. And you go see Daryl. Because, yeah, Connie's better. Who wants to see Connie and Ezekiel? Zani? Kezekiel? I like it. Yeah, I'm moved on. It's fine. Let her go. If she wants to go, let her go. I'm going to start the Zeke and Connie. Don't get depressed, Zeke. Don't shave your dreadlocks. Don't turn into Shane. Move on. Sean Looker's like, why would you assume Connie and Ezekiel? Because Carol's leaving him. Go ahead. Get it all out of your system. John super chatting says, do you think Carol will develop a close bond with Lydia? No more adoptions, though. I do think that, John. And see, this is a little bit of, I think this is a little bit of the challenge. And this is why I want you to kind of see Ezekiel's perspective. All right, so Cheryl says, Carol and Daryl have always been close, no surprises. So here's what you have. You've got Ezekiel, who was there for Carol when she wanted to stay in a cabin by herself. You've got Ezekiel, who lost his first child in Shiva. You got Ezekiel, who lost Henry. You got Carol, who's leaving him and has a brand new adopted daughter. So Carol lost Henry, but now she's got Lydia. And she even said, every time I look at her, I see Henry. So Ezekiel has no child, no wife, no kingdom. But Carol has Daryl, Lydia. So, doesn't seem right. So let me say this. They're not doing this to make Carol look good. They're actually doing this to make her character look a little bit questionable at this time. And there are going to be people that are going to question it. They're going to question this move. Especially if it takes away from... How many people really wanted to see the Daryl Connie thing work out. How many people were fans of Daryl and Connie? They thought, she's writing him the notes, and she took care of the dog, and, they're hitting it off, right? So, to me, this takes away from that. I thought it was perfect. I don't think this is perfect. William, Walking Dead Billboard, says, I have a dumb question. I don't even think it will happen, but will Daryl and Zeke go through a Rick and Shane deal and Daryl kill Zeke? No. No, it won't in this episode. There is not that confirmation. I got a couple more spoilers, and you'll see how it all plays out. Says who you, are we saying she has to stay in a relationship she isn't happy with? No. Not saying that at all. What we're saying is that Ezekiel might deserve a little bit different treatment, especially with everything that he's went through. That's what I would say. Benjamin Stevenson, I don't think Carol's leaving Zeke for Daryl. We don't know what all happened in the short time jump and with their relationship and grief after Henry. Well, certainly everything's not all roses. I mean, that part, Ben, I have no doubt. There's been no conversation, probably. There's been blame. There's been sleeping on the couch. There's been not eating dinner together. I fully acknowledge all of that stuff. I think they went through all the stages of withdrawal and blame, and it got to a boiling point, and Says Who You's absolutely right. No doubt about it, it got to a boiling point, and she's ready to do something different. But one could certainly see Ezekiel's point of view as well and think that, here's the part that might bother me, and I'll get to Randy Walton. You are weaker when you have a love liability. The point has been made by crazy people, and it is what Daryl knows is why he left. It's who he is. And I want to go back to Says Who You's comment. There's probably also a little bit of tact. I think it would be a little different if Carol said to Ezekiel something along the lines of, I need some time. I'm going to go back to Alexandria. I'm going to check out the group, get my mind right. It's another thing to tell Ezekiel, I'm going to Alexandria to be with Daryl and Lydia. I mean, I don't know what Ezekiel did to sort of get that level of pain and sort of rubbing your nose in it a little bit. Even if it doesn't fully mean that, it still feels like that. Like, you stay up here with Jerry. You go pretend to be king. Go lead your makeshift kingdom. I'm going to go be with Daryl and Lydia. I just don't like the feel to it. Very much like I didn't like the feel to Maggie threatening Rick at the end of last season. Has the same sort of dirty, not happy, move on, we wish you well. It's got some darkness to it. Last thing I'll say about this, and I'll get to the last spoiler. Norman Reed is teased as much as well, because he said, you're going to see some characters that you thought were over here, but they're a little bit different. And I think he's intentionally talking about Carol and Ezekiel. That Carol is not as committed to this relationship as one person would think, and she wants something different. And Ezekiel is about to go through the darkest time in his life, and whether he'll get through on the other end remains to be seen. And I think he could hold some long-term animosity. Here we go. A couple more spoilers here. If you didn't catch this earlier, this is creepy. We're about to get into the creepy zone. Alpha and Beta. So there's really no conflict with Alpha and Beta. Says Who You. I just don't think that leaving him when they're both hurting means she's dark and that her character is questionable. No, I think you missed the context of what I was saying. It was kind of a two-part thought. I don't think leaving him means she's dark either. I think leaving him means that they've went through a tough situation. I think her character transitioning to one that has seemed very supportive of Ezekiel, and where he wanted to go get the bulbs and she was right by his side, where he wanted to leave and she said, nope, we came all this way, let's stay and do this, where she's kind of been that pick-me-up to him. It's not the action of leaving, it's the fact that in more minor situations where he's needed that support, when all of his men got gunned down, she was the one that went into the amphitheater and built him back up. When they had the issue at the movie theater, she built him back up. He just went through losing his son more so than her son. He was the protector of that child. And then for her to transition out of that, I'm not saying she doesn't have the right to do it, but I'm also saying that it's a change in character for her. And it tends, if you're a very bright character and you're that happy-go-lucky, which she's been lately, and then you start to do what appears to be selfish, or for yourself, maybe not selfish, then it is transitioning you to a different type of personality. And that's where I would say dark. I wouldn't say evil, and I think I intentionally chose the word dark in order to kind of start to see that transition. Hopefully that clarifies it a little bit. Speaking of dark, they are intentionally getting Alpha up to beast mode. So this is a little bit creepy. This is two more new things that if you didn't watch the other stream, hopefully you're going to get it. The storm is over, and Alpha says she must become stronger. She gives Beta one of those switches like she used to beat Lydia with. And she tells Beta to beat her with it to toughen her up. So she's not playing any games now. I guess that beatdown gets her mind right. It does something to her, but she's probably going to find out they trespassed. She's upset. Ezekiel just went through a bad situation. It might not bode well for Ezekiel. Just seems like he's on his last legs. But there is something that goes down with Ezekiel, and this is probably the biggest news of the entire show. The Ezekiel Carol breakup is big news. Ezekiel has been using the radio to talk to people in other communities. He's talking to Judith at the end before he leaves the room. So he's talking to Judith, and then he leaves the room, and then we hear a voice coming over the radio. We aren't sure who it is. It's difficult to hear or identify because of the static cutting in and out. The voice says something along the lines of, hello? Is anyone there? But nobody's in the room to hear it. I didn't catch this the first time I saw the spoiler, but I'm going to add to this. That's the spoiler. I know people are like, what? There's Rick. There's Rick. Says who you. Says Carol would happily beat her with a stick right now. These ham radios, we might have missed this earlier. Everybody's like, wait a minute. Cliffhanger. Rick's talking over the radio and Ezekiel walked out of the room. But it doesn't mean that Judith, who he was talking to, walked out of her room. This would still fit the narrative we talked about earlier, because if it is Rick, Judith could hear Rick's voice, and wouldn't that be a neat thing in Season 10? Because they gave you the foreshadowing early when Judith said, I can't remember what their voice sounds like anymore. So think about Ezekiel leaving out of the room, Judith hearing Rick's voice, the only person to hear his voice, and recognize it as Rick. That could definitely go down. I think we read the spoiler the first time. It didn't make sense because people were like, nobody was there to hear it. But if he was just talking to Judith, it's very likely she was there to hear it. Crystal, I got your super chat here. So, possible Carol blames herself, assumes Zeke does too, and deflecting to Daryl. She runs when emotional, set up for her to blame herself when Zeke dies. That is part of what happens, because she does say to Ezekiel, I know you blame Daryl because you don't want to blame me. So that part is clarified. The part that is probably correct too, and I hope it doesn't happen, I don't want to see her blame herself if Ezekiel dies. I don't want to see that play out. It's a tired narrative to me. It's happened way too many times. Carol should have never... and then what are we going to do? And that's where you will definitely think it's dark, because Carol should have never left Ezekiel. She wouldn't have left Ezekiel. He'd still be alive. He was her pal. He was her light. He was her inspiration. And that's what I don't want to see happen, because I do think there will be a lot of blame on Carol. So that's why I said she's shifting toward that, or the writers could be. I don't like it. I don't like that at all. And I hope Ezekiel gets with Connie or somebody else, or he works it back out with Carol. I just don't want to see it play out. Says who you. That would be cool. Zoom into Judith and end season 9. Let me also say that these spoilers are not 100% finished. These are confirmed, but there's other spoiler information that could be out there. I know the question came up, will we get anything with Sadiq? What's going on with Eugene? Is there still a story with Rosita? What's going on with Dog? Yes, there's a lot of questions. So I think this gives you a good overview of the big stuff that's going to go down. But I am going to go on the record right now and say my bold prediction is that after Ezekiel leaves the room, Judith hears her dad on the other line, and that sets up the narrative for Michonne to leave, for Judith to remember her voice, all of the above. I think that propels us into season 10, and we're going to have a lot of time to talk about that. Dazzy, Judith tells everyone, and they don't believe her. Strong possibility, Dazzy. So I could certainly see Michonne questioning what she says and ultimately believing her, taking her word for it. And Judith likes to go out and help. So, yeah, people are going to be adding their own pieces to it. Dad? And was it Rick? I don't think it's Morgan. I don't think they're going to tease us with something this big only to, come on, man. You're gonna open up the door and say to me, Kills, I got some strawberry cheesecake, and then you're going to give me like a donut? That ain't the way it works here. If you're going to tease it big, you need to go big. I can buy a little bit of, let's wait, season 10, let's see if Judith actually heard it. Ezekiel didn't hear it, nobody believes it. But once they find out who it is, it had better be Rick. There's no other voice that is going to be on that radio. It is Rick. We're going to stay by it. The fans want it. Imagine, as much as we're talking about it right now, if it's somebody from Commonwealth. Come on. That is going to be like the biggest letdown on the show. Angela Kang is not letting the people down on the show. She has been phenomenal all season long. She's given us what we want. She's coming through again in a big way. She gave us great drama, great alpha story, great whispers. Snow. She brought us Snow. She exited Rick the right way. She exited Maggie in a very sucky way. That's the only bad part. The Maggie thing. Actually, two things. Maggie and killing Jesus, wasn't a big fan of either one of those. But other than those two things, I would say a near perfect season. And so I don't think that they're going to not give us the Rick Grimes story. They kept him alive. They could have killed Rick. But they chose to keep him alive. They chose to make the movie. And now this is the setup for the movie. We are 33 minutes in. This is our third video in a couple hours. So we had a very quick and abrupt spoiler countdown. Shiny gave us the news during the stream, so we got the spoiler video just a little bit ago, and I appreciate all of you being here for the reaction video. I think tomorrow night, just to let you guys know, we're doing Freestyle Friday. Would love for all of you guys to be here. The only thing that I would ask, we've had 1,000 people here since we've just been doing this little stream kind of in and out the door. So I want to reach out to the 1,000 people watching and another 3,000 or 4,000 that are going to watch it in playback. Join us for Freestyle Friday. just please, please, please don't go in there and drop a bunch of spoilers, because we've got people there that just want to hang out on a Friday night. They want to talk about Walking Dead topics. They want to talk about the trailer, the teaser, but not the confirmed stuff, because it'll start out with that, and then people will super chat, and it'll be freestyle, and we'll jump around to a bunch of different topics, and before long we'll be talking about how many moons are around Jupiter. I mean, it's so random, and we have a good time with it. We hang out. So I'd love for you guys to experience and be a part of it. The way it works is we start with a topic, and somebody will super chat, and they control the floor. So we bounce back and forth, and ultimately gets a little bit crazy. Saturday morning, we'll have another prediction that we're going to start talking about, and then we'll do a spoiler recap on Sunday. That'll either be here or to be on the 999 Dead channel. But all the information is pretty much out there. If we get additional spoiler information, which the Spoiling Dead's fan page says is very possible, then we'll do an updated video. So, want to say thank you once again. We're winding down. We have about 3 more days until we start to end the season. The end of the Walking Dead season is not the end of 999 Gaming. We're going to continue to talk about it all day on Monday. We'll be ramping up into Game of Thrones. We'll have Game of Thrones countdowns, Game of Thrones reactions. A lot of stuff going on with the channel. So if you're brand new, subscribe. Everybody here, do me a favor. Lydia, that like button if you had a good time. If you're watching the playback, make sure you hit the like button as well. We're also going to be doing Stranger Things, Nosferatu. We will do Coffee with Kill Shot probably Saturday and Sunday. So it would be a very early morning for most of you. But subscribe, hit the notification button, and if you like hanging out with us, then we'll see you there. Thanks, everybody. Shout out to all the patrons, top left-hand corner. If you're interested in becoming a patron, it's a third-party website. They are my partners. They help me out with content, polls, surveys, opinions. They get sneak peeks of stuff. They get pictures of cats. They get whatever, a little bit extra. So if you like that and you want to see a little bit more Kill Shot, then there's a link down below. Then you can become a Patreon. Channel members have the green highlight around their name. Channel members, you can hit the $sign. It says level up. You can join our channel. I think it's $4.99, but you get custom mod emojis. You get an emoji of me. You get a $9.99. All the people with green, if you guys can do me a favor and just flash those mod emojis. There you go. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Super chatters are phenomenal. Real quick shout out to some of the super chatters tonight that got their thoughts included in this and paid to have it highlighted. I mean, a ton of people. Daryl Stoltz says who you, Kay Hensley, Holly Pierce, Tom Ferreira, Sherry Bentley, John Ariate, William the Walking Dead Billboard, Randy Walton, Crystal Singer Chick, Dazzy, Benjamin Stevenson, all of you, thank you so much for making the chat a little bit more exciting and highlighting your comments. You guys are great. And everybody else, do me a big favor. Let me get a whole lot of 999s in chat right now. Some of the new people are like, I don't even know why you're doing that. Well, when we were 50 people, I used to do sub shouts, and I would do a video and just dedicate it to all the people that were watching our channel and read their comments and talk about them. We got a little bit bigger, and I couldn't read everybody's comment and all the messages, because I get 500 to 1,000 messages a day, some direct messages, some comments, but you can understand how it's grown. But I don't want to ever forget how we grew this channel, and it's each and every person in here. So that 999 is a symbol to me that we never forget where we started from. We started from a small group of gamers to just an amazing group of people, and it continues to grow. So everybody's there. Karen Reif, OG, Dazzy, brand new member. We're at 44 members now. If we get 6 more members, that'll be 50. We will unlock another emoji. So think about it. We might get another 6 in the next couple days. Thank you, Dazzy. Appreciate that. But still want to say what's up to Samantha Coombs, Matt Burkett, Planet Earth, Lisa Khaleesi, Viola McGowan, eBeach72, Ray Beard, moderators, Amy Steph, Tommy Kells, Anita Noguer. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Anita, if you want to join our Facebook fan page and message me and kind of enunciate your name out, I don't want to screw it up, but if I can read it, then maybe I can get it right. Hopefully, if I said it right, then give me a thumbs up. We got Stephanie Faye, Lynn Nesvik, Rebecca Mendez. Thank you, Rebecca. Kimberly M., Julia Muse, Ava Gentry, Greg LeBeau, Kathy Parker. I know Greg's going to be a member very soon. He's just got to sign up on a computer. And if he does that, oh, man, it's French. I'm going to have trouble with that then. You know what? Even if you spell it out for me, if it's French, I'm going to have a hard time with it. But I'll do my best. I'll say it a few times. Hopefully I can get it right. Vengeance91, thank you for being here. D-Style5, thank you. Ray McDermott. Who is this Rick guy you speak of? Tom, I'm not a Philly fan. It's only one game. Plenty of time. DJ Domstott. Tommy V. Crystal Singer Chick, thank you. Jennifer Flaherty, thank you. Have a great night. Appreciate you. Beta, the chosen one. Beta, I thought you were going to change that name after all the whisper hate. Didn't happen. Brian Camella, thank you, Brian. General Mailman, thank you so much. Great 3 streams. Glad you're here for all 3 of them. Flagstaff, thank you. Flagstaff says, if Spoiling Dead made a YouTube page, what would you even do? First of all, I think that's kind of I think you're being smart ass and a little bit condescending. But I will answer your question. Most of our fans actually are members of Spoiling Dead's fan page. So I don't think the people that come here because of Spoiling Dead. I think they come here because they like being here, which I'm not sure if you like being here. And if you don't, you're free not to be here. But we don't compete with Spoiling Dead. We're here because we're a group of people that likes to get together and talk. I mean, it just seems like a kind of a curious comment for you to make, which is why I decided. But I guess you could ask all the people in chat right now watching the video, how many people would still be here if Spoiling Dead made a YouTube page? Would that incent anybody to leave? There you go. I think you'll get the answer to your question. Newfield 12, thank you for being here. Appreciate that. David Salazar. Yeah, I think we're good. Coma Drug, thanks for being here. Andrew McSherry. Dude was like, oh my God, he read my comment. I can't believe it. Jason Craig. Casino Well, thank you for being here. Lisa Khaleesi's like, nope, you're stuck with me. Anita said, I don't come here for the spoilers, but for the family and the love from here. Thank you, Deidre Lesage. Still here and a Patreon. And with that, everybody, thank you so much. Appreciate everything you guys do. I missed a ton of people in shout-outs. If I do, just keep typing to 999 in future videos. I'll get everybody included. I know we don't get everybody in every single video. And if it's been like 5 or 6, shoot me a message on Messenger and like, Kills, you keep missing me in those. Give me a shout-out, and I'll write it down, and I'll make sure that we absolutely do it. But if I miss you, please don't take it personally. It's just, you guys know. Ton of people, and whatever pops up on the screen is what we read. Thanks, everybody. I'll see most of you here 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Peace.